Hey buddy, your unit is all finished. Frank Paris here. I tweaked it today and get a little bit of this tongue or press it down. Anyway, it's done. I've labeled all of the components that are in the unit, okay? And I'm going to put this into a box and ship it out to you, hopefully today. I can do it tomorrow, but I want to get it out today. And it's going out today, TWO day. So you'll get it in 2 days. So let's talk about what this thing is and how you use it. Obviously, you're not going to be showing the component units that are in the unit. They're just going to see the puppet. All right? And I'll show you when I raise it and lower it how far you can go and how far it should go. And that's basically it. You have this in a box, some kind of a little enclosure that's probably the same length and width of this. You do want to be able to make it a bigger box because, or even a cardboard box, you know, one of those UPS cardboard boxes. You can go and have it in the store and then add some little decorations on there, call them Cecil or whatever you want to call this guy. We have a guy, we made a rabbit for a guy, and he calls it the rabbit Marshmallow. And so, I mean, that's a cool name. I guess the kids really like it. Anyway, so the puppet that you're looking at is created by me. I should have got some water before I started this conversation. I'll try to get through it. The eyes are gumball capsules. Okay, that's all they are. And there's a little magnet inside each one. See that? And it just sticks to this metal plate that's in here, inside the sock. The sock can be changed, by the way. And of course, you could have them that way. You could have one eyeball that way and that way. You can do whatever you want. You can figure it any way you want. Okay. It will look pleasing to you and to your audience. You can get a hat for it. I don't have any more hats. I had a bunch of them, but the company that makes them don't sell them anymore, and I don't even think they're in business. This is my own personal unit, so I put a lot of TLC into this unit, and this is the last one I'm making, the last one I'm selling. I'm trying to move things out that I used to do little puppet shows and things like that, and there are about 8 or 9, maybe 10 people that have this unit, but this is my own personal unit. So let's start getting into how this thing is constructed. First of all, obviously you can take the eyeballs off, like so, and you can put them on, like so, okay? And let's get these guys just right here. And that looks pretty cool. All right, the sock. If you were to take off the sock and you wanted to put a Christmas sock on, you want to get a Christmas legging, something that's longer, okay, and that stretches, okay? And you can take the sock off, but when you're taking the sock off, you want to start at the bottom here, go about halfway up, okay, and then pull forward, okay? You can even take the tongue out. This is just a piece of that double stick paper you can buy at Hobby Lobby or one of the hobby stores, and you get it like 4 sheets. That could be any color. It could be green, red, and you just stick it in there. Okay. So then you pull off the sock, and you'll see the mechanism. There is nothing to do with the mechanism. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to tighten it or loosen it or anything else. If something something doesn't work right, and you need help with it, I can help. I'll walk you through how to fix it, or you can send it back to me and I'll do the repair for 1 year, okay? 12 months. You just pay for shipping. All right, so that's basically what you have here. I was selling these things for $1,800, $1,900. At one point, I went down to $17, so you got a really super deal on this one. And, okay, so now, I don't want to get off too far off the point. I've labeled everything, and I'm going to explain to you how everything works and how to plug things in. Okay, now you've got a wireless microphone. Here it is right over here. Excuse the mess. You have a wireless microphone here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Put the head, you guys back on here. Okay, how do you get on your eyeballs here? Oh, we got it. There's one eyeball. And here is the second eyeball. Shake them down to the bottom for us to get stuck on each other. So there you go. I'm gonna move over to the center. Okay, so now all the components have been labeled, okay, and all of the components have been Velcro. I'm going to give you some extra Velcro, not this much. It's expensive. I'll give you about 5-6 inches in case you need it. You can buy that on Amazon. That's the heavy-duty Velcro. You can buy it in rolls and that kind of thing. All right, this is just about a power pack. Okay, this one power pack here that you see, this is a 12-volt power pack. There are 8 1.5 volt batteries, which when you total that all up is 12 volts. 1.5 times 8 is 12 volts, and that's what you need for the antenna, the motor that makes the robot go up and down. Okay, let's get to the wireless mic, and I'll show you how this works. Now you want to speak succinctly. Okay, you want to pronounce and overpronounce all of your vowels in whatever you're looking at, okay? So when you say, hello, 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 goodbye, goodbye, and I did that specifically. I set the P4 voice guy so that you're forced to become a comedian, so to speak. Hello, hello. Or you got to say, hello, hello. That way it's better because now you're talking to kids at a certain age and you're actually acting like a silly person.
I am not a silly person.
So you see what I'm saying? You are pronouncing the words and you're pronouncing the syllables and you're overreacting, sort of like Jim Kirk in Star Trek, overacting. I probably went to a school called overacting. Okay, now you'll notice that the head is randomly moving back and forth. This is pre-programmed into the P4. There's nothing you have to do for the P4. I'm going to go into that in a little while. All right, but I just wanted to emphasize the enunciation is what you want to be able to do, and you want to enunciate in such a way that you are, and this goes for any manufacturer who makes these puppets. I know Steve Axtell and all of the people his crew people that build all these beautiful puppets that he makes. All of these people, okay, when they work with their puppets, they overemphasize or over-enunciate the words, okay? And the P4 picks it up and reacts to it so that you're in sync with the puppet. Now, if I'm holding the microphone right here, about 4 inches away from my mouth. So when I say hello, hello, nothing happens. But if I take it and I put it right against my mouth,
hello. Oh, that is so wonderful.
Okay.
You are a marvelous person.
You see what I'm saying? It's right up against my mouth, and I'm enunciating, and that's what the P4 needs. Okay. If you don't do that with the P4 when you're doing a show or you're doing a puppet show, you're not going to get the reaction that you want to get.
You silly boy.
You know what I'm saying? That's right up against my mouth, okay?
You silly boy.
So you want to be able to do that as much as possible, okay? Get lost in your character, get lost in emphasizing what that really means to your children's audience or your adult audience or whoever you're using this for. Okay, and these puppets sometimes are used at point of sales places, as you're walking out of Walmarts or you're walking out of supermarkets, and I used to do this years ago. I used to bring things like this to a trade show, and they'd hire me to come and just have the puppet standing there. Obviously, there had to be somebody watching the puppet so that nobody steals it and nobody runs away with it or punches the robot, the puppet out. But this is the essence of what this promotional thing is, what this puppet does. And so now let's get to the things that make this work. Okay, we've already covered the eyes, we've covered the mouth and the enunciation. I mentioned the P4. I didn't tell you what the P4 is. The P4 takes my wireless microphone, okay, and transmitter and receiver. I'm sorry, this is the wireless mic, and this is the receiver. It transmits my voice to the receiver, which is here, okay, and then the receiver has a splitter, okay, and one end of the splitter goes to the Bluetooth, I'm sorry, I gotta get that out of the way. One end goes to the Bluetooth speaker. We're not using Bluetooth, okay, and the other end goes to the receiver. So the sound that comes out of the receiver is going to two places at once. It's going to the P4, which has the randomizer built into the programming. That's why you see the head moving. And then it also has the sound that's coming into the receiver, okay, and it's making the mouth react with the servos that are connected. These are the servos that are connected. All right, we have one a servo which is going into the randomizer, which is making the randomizer take the servo and move it back and forth randomly. And then the other servo is the servo that operates the mouth, that makes the mouth move in sync with the sound that's coming out of the receiver. So that's why you have two. You have one going to the speaker, so your audience can hear what's going on, and one going to the P4. It's coming out of the receiver. Here you can see how that's hooked up. Okay, and going into the audio input here. So that now you have the best of both worlds. You have your mouth moving and activating by your voice, and you have the speaker. I'm sorry. You have the wireless Bluetooth speaker, which has a pretty loud sound to it, allowing your audience to hear what's going on. So if I go, hello, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. So when you do that, that's kind of a warm-up exercise. You know, some singers go, you know, they test the range of their voice to see how they're doing, and they take a sip of water, and then they go out on stage and wow their audience. So you want to do the same thing. I use the alphabet. The alphabet seems to work for me. Hold the mic real close. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, J, K. Oh, I forgot the alphabet. Anyway, you get the idea. So, and that's what I play with the kids. I said, I forgot my alphabet. I got to remember my alphabet. So this is, you know, what I do with my audiences with puppets is similar to this. So, okay, so the P4, all right, has a power supply. That's this guy right here. Now, you're going to get a power pack charger to go, that's plug this wire, to plug the power pack wire into the unit. Now, the first two portals okay, for the servos are the one on the left and the one on the right. This is the second portal, and that's what makes the randomizing happen to the neck over here. You can see, let's do that. Move, move, move. Okay, and then the second one is for the mouth. And the third portal is where this power supply goes into. Now, once you plug the power supply into the P4 in the third portal, so you got 1, 2, 3. There's a fourth one. I'm not sure what that does. I'm not sure. Maybe that gives you another function, but we don't need the other function. So you got 1, 2, 3. The third portal is your power supply. Okay? Now, that third portal, when it activates, is not going to have a green light. that's going to have a red light. Okay? Now, I don't know why they did that. Okay? But when you plug it in after you've charged up this power supply, which should last you 5 or 6. I always charge everything up fully before every show. I don't care. And then you maybe get a backup one of these guys online, you know. I use a freshly charged battery every single time. This is the third portal right here for that. All right, so you've got that here. Now, this is not going to light up green. You see that green? It's not going to light up green. It's going to be a flashing red. So you're going to hold this button in. Now, I'm not going to do it now. Or maybe I will do it now. Let's do that now. This way I can show you. I'm going to pull this out. All right, and I'm going to go plug it back in. It's hard to do with one hand, but I'm going to try to get it in there. It's giving me a little bit of a problem because my hand is not directing it in the right manner into the portal. So let's just see here. Okay. I think what I'm going to have to do is put this down. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I got it. Hold on. I'm just going to put it down off camera for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to put you down. The camera's going to be put down just for a second while I plug it in. I need 2 hands to do this. Okay, so we got that in. All right, so now I'm back. Okay, so now you see after I plug it into the third slot here, okay, it's a flashing red. Okay, we don't want a flashing red. We want a solid green. So watch what happens when I push the button and I hold it. Okay, that's going to activate the P4 voice synthesizer module. So hold it in. You're going to see the green light come on, and the mouth is going to move. Okay, so now here you go. Now your mouth is there. Now, if you want to start off with the mouth closed, that's fine. Okay, you can start with the mouth closed. I like the mouth open when I start, but it doesn't matter. Okay? So you start with the mouth closed, and now again, remember we're going to enunciate the puppet, and we're going to hold the mic real close.
Hello, 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 hello. I'm so happy to be here. Wonderful to see you all. Oh, you like my tongue? Yes, cute little puppet tongue, yes. I like to lick ice cream, yes.
So you've got that going where when you first start out, if you enunciate, the mouth is going to open and it's going to kind of stay open, which is the way I like it because the puppet looks cool that way.
Hello, 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 hello.
When I said hello the first time, watch.
Hello.
Nothing. Okay, not that much movement, but I went
hello, hello, no, 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 no.
You want to take those words that are coming out of your mouth and push them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to do that.
So that you want to enunciate on those words. Okay, so now we're 18 minutes into this thing. Let's get into some of the other stuff. Okay, the microphone's got to be pretty. All right. This powers on is an on-off power button here. Pairing you don't need to use or anything else. This charges up. Okay. You've got the power pack we talked about that runs the P4, and you know how to activate it so that your mouth is activated. Okay. We talked about the wire that comes out of the output wire that comes out of the receiver for the wireless mic. It goes into 2 places. It goes into the P4, which is right here, and then you've got the other one going into the speaker. Great. Okay, so now let's get to something else. Now I'm going to put everything is Velcro. Let me just maybe turn this guy off for a second. Let's turn that off. All right. So now we're putting the microphone back on this little Velcro pad here. All right, there we go. Now, we have a power pack right here, power supply. That's a 12-volt power supply. And it's got a snap-on, snap-off thing. And this also gets pulled off if you want to change the batteries. Okay, so now you would rotate this around. And there's an on-off switch over here. This is the remote control transmitter receiver to make the snake go up and down. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to turn it on. Okay, so you see the light, the flashing red. Okay, and we're going to get into something else in a minute, but let's go get that remote control, which is, this should have been Velcroed here. Let's get that back on here. All right, so this guy right here is your remote control for the snake going up and down. And you don't want to go up too high, okay? Now this again is a black sequin, kind of black sequin sock I got, I think, in, where was I? San Francisco. Okay, so I don't have two anymore. I don't know what happened to the other one. But, okay, so now when you hit this remote control button here, right here, you can see that the snake is going up. Now you don't use, I would go only this high. I wouldn't go any high. Okay, you could, but the sock may come apart. I've added a rubber band around this sock. Oh, now I know what I do with the other. I cut one in half because this wasn't long enough. Okay, so that's on. And this is a little bit of a thing that I put on there to keep the snake from going too far, but that doesn't work too well. So you've got a rubber band, a black rubber band or a blue rubber band back here, okay, which is keeping the snake. Nobody sees this. Nobody sees this inside the unit. So basically it comes up about that high, and it'll come out of your box. I was using for a time an old antique box that I bought from Hobby Lobby. I got to get me another one. And I just covered up the slats and stuff like that. So that's pretty high. If you look at it, you can see how pretty high that is. It comes right down. So the randomizing of the head does not stop. Okay, there's no randomizing. There's nothing to stop it. Okay, because it's connected by servo extensions wires. Okay, these wires are servo wires, and I've added extensions. These are the servo wires, and I've added extensions to them, so they're going straight up. So you've still got a lot of leeway. But I wouldn't go up too much. You don't want to go you don't want to go too high. You just want it to peek out of the box, okay? So, just in my opinion, okay? And if it does, if it goes a little higher, then you may disconnect the servo wires, and then you'll have to connect them again and see which one is in the right place. Is it turning the head? If it's not turning the head, you're going to have to switch the servo connectors. It's just like an extension cord kind of thing. So this is basically the transmitter and receiver for the head going up and down. Now, a couple of things about that. All right, let's go over to the receiver. Again, this is the on-off switch. I'm going to turn it off. Okay, I'm going to put this remote control back over here. No, actually, I can't do that. I got to talk to you about something. Okay, for some reason, if you get disconnected if your remote control, this remote control is not working, okay, anymore, for some reason, okay, it could be a battery, all right, or it could be that somehow the pairing has disappeared. Now, that shouldn't happen, okay, but here's what you do on that situation, all right? If the pairing has disappeared, and even when you're pressing the top and the bottom, okay, because when you press it, I think the blue light comes on. Yeah, you see that? Okay, so you got that. Okay, I turn this off, so if I turn that back on, see the flashing red light? You want that. See, it'll go up, and it'll go down, okay? And if this light doesn't come on anymore, okay, it could be the power pack that's you need to put a new power pack on it, or it could be that you have a situation where it needs to be paired again. Now, to pair this remote control transmitter receiver and all of this, the three components here, the remote control, the power pack, the on-off switch, and the receiver for the snake head going up and down. All three of these components they're separate and apart from the speaker and from the the servo, the wires, and everything else. These are separately component. They're in a component isolation situation. You don't need to indicate. You don't need to put any of these items. One thing is not going to affect another. You isolate. I've isolated the components so that everything is modular. So you can go and fix any issue that exists either by calling me up and asking me where I can buy these things, or by sending it back to me and asking for a repair or that kind of thing. So that's for 1 year. So this is off now. And again, if you needed to pair this again for some reason, okay, because it wasn't going up and down, what you would do is you would press this button. There's a button right over here. And you would, and obviously you'd have the remote control in your hand, and you would press this button just like so and hold it in, all right, on the receiver. And once you've done that, okay, you'll see it blink 3 times. When you see it blink 3 times, then press the up button, okay? Press the up button and hold it in, and that'll stop the blinking, and now you pair it again. So again, what you do is, if the remote control doesn't work anymore, check the batteries first. Make sure you got fresh batteries in there. And if it doesn't, you don't have to turn it off. Just hold this button in, just like this. Hold it in until it starts flashing red. Okay, this little LED here, that'll flash, rapidly flash. And then just take your remote control and hit the up button, because now you've set it to go up. You don't hit the down button, hit the up button, okay? And then when that red flashing stops, you release your finger from the remote, and you pair it again, and the two can talk to each other. That's assuming that we're not talking about batteries now, okay? So I'll just turn this guy off, and we'll place the remote control back over here. All right, and here's your power pack. We talked about that. There's an on-off for that. And you know about the wireless mic, and you know about the P4. Both of these guys, the transmitter, the wireless mic transmitter and receiver, okay, are in mic mode and all line mode. I'm not even sure at this point. You just got to play around with it. Everything is set, so you don't really have to do anything, but look at everything to make sure that you remember what the setting is. Mic line or mic line. Okay, this will be mic line on this here. And there's a little green light that goes on. You can see that green light over there underneath the label that I put in there. That tells me that I've got my unit on, okay? So, when you turn this on, the microphone on, okay, and if this is on, you'll see the light go from no light to green. And that'll tell you that they're communicating with each other. All right, so that's basically it. 1, 2, I guess I've got the mics off. Okay, and that's basically the whole unit. Again, you can change the sock. Turn this around this way. You can change the sock if you like. And, it's a wireless mic here. I'm going to pack this up, and I'm going to place this in a box. Where's the box? I must probably have it in the garage. And you're all set. There's nothing else to know about this guy. And these are, like I said, these tongues you can change. You can just go over to Hobby Lobby and buy the stick-em type things and make a round tongue. Use some kind of a hurt kind of thing to make the tongues, and then stick it in there way in the back. Okay. And when your tongue looks kind of shabby, you just take it out and make another one. So that's basically it. Any other questions that you may have, you can get in touch with me. Like I said, this is the last one. This is my personal one. I'm starting to move things out, and the wife says, hey, move things out. So I'm moving things out. But this is one of my favorite old-time things, and I'm going to miss it immensely. I hope you had a lot of fun with it. And you really got to pay me a lot of money to make another one of these things, because it's very labor-intensive. Okay, not to mention the electronics is very expensive too. So take care. You got a really good bargain on this guy, and have fun with it, okay? Frank Paris, over and out.